upTon 187 cRew stormed into the Challengers division in Dallas and went undefeated until they met Art Chaos in the finals. They lost to Chaos in that Challengers final game, but they are back in the Champions division. 187 went back and forth between the two pro divisions last season, proving they were too good to be held down, but not good enough to hang with the 10 best teams in the world on a consistent basis. They now have a chance to prove that they deserve to stay in the fight against the best teams. The 187 lost Nick Laval at the end of last season. The good news for 187 fans is they still have a great roster full of hardworking talent that just keeps getting better and better. Eddie Painter is looking polished and really stepped up in the first event, as his timing and gunfighting are becoming top-notch. Dan Zaleski is emerging as a high-level first attacker, and Max Traylor is one of their best all-around players. Look for Matt Derula, Nick Roberts, and old-school vet Thomas Mantoni to clock in and help upTon 187 cRew in their dream to win a PSP Champions Division tournament. Los Angeles Infamous had a triumphant return to the top in Dallas when they took the victory in the finals against a hungry Omaha Vicious. Infamous is a different team this season, as they have more depth and an obvious drive to be the best team in the world. Zach Wake was a man reborn in Dallas. He had 13 kills in the last game to help his team win the event, and he was awarded the finals MVP. The Bornstein brothers have added much-needed depth to the squad, and Zach Patient is back from injuries that kept him from playing much of 2013. With three solid Snake attackers, a versatile roster across the board, and momentum from the Dallas win, Infamous is the team to beat at the Mid-Atlantic Open. Drew Templeton, Callie Rudolph, and Nikki Cuba all stepped up at the last event, and Damian Ryan, one of the best players in the game, will be out to add to the 43 kills he chalked up at the first event. Infamous underperformed all last season, but they look to have a new hard mentality, which will continue to pay dividends if they can keep up their newfound intensity.
Welcome back here. Beautiful morning for Sunday's competition at the 2014 PSP Mid-Atlantic Open. I am Matty Marshall alongside Steve Rabikoff, and we are about to watch two of the most interesting games that you can watch at a PSP tournament. We're about to watch the relegation games, and what an interesting story here. At the OXCC Paintball Park here in Chesapeake City, Maryland, Rick Carver runs a great organization out here, and what an awesome field to have the second stop on the PSP Tour. So Rab, how interesting is it, and sad for these two teams, that Infamous and Vicious, who made it into the finals at the first event, first and second, are now playing in the relegation matches?
It's like we said on Thursday, you cannot have a bad day on Friday. You have a bad day on Friday in this division this year, you're going to be playing in this bracket. That's what happened in Dallas. Some of those guys had a bad day on Friday, and here you go. They win Dallas, and they're playing for relegation. And it's going to happen because we talked about 10 of the best teams are playing right now, and it's tough. You cannot afford to have a bad day.
Yeah, so Infamous is playing against upTon 187 cRew, who bounced back and forth between the Champs and Challengers division. But, you know, cRew didn't play terrible. I mean, they played some big teams.
No, they played great.
So here we go on the first breakout. Infamous on your right, swamp side, and 187 cRew on your left. Now, you know, this field was pristine, and one side of it is still awesome as far as the grass is concerned, but the side that Infamous is on right now, because so much rain dumped here.
That's the LA swamp side.
Yeah, exactly. So big move down the D side of the field for Los Angeles Infamous. The ref is going to get in there and check him out. And it looks like it's Callie Rudolph, and he is clean. So great job by Callie Rudolph to make that move up there.
And Infamous right away decided, hey, after the way we played, we're going to be aggressive here and move that Dorito side as best we can.
Actually, I think Callie is behind, Who is that? Zach Patient.
Yeah,
so nice job by Zach Patient to get up on the D side of the field. Callie Rudolph right behind him. Looks like Callie Rudolph's trying to call a kill. Damian Ryan up in the center. Infamous looking good on the attack here in point number 1. 187 cRew still with 5 bodies alive. And here comes the push up the center, but he gets eaten up as Zach Patient was wrapping around
it's a
D3.
Good thought, but Zach Patient was there just posted up ready for him to come down middle of the field and protect Damian Ryan.
Yeah, and it's Greg Lazard who's their weapon up the center a lot of times. He comes off, then Matt Derula gets shot out of his bunker. So just 3 players left alive right now for upTon 187 cRew. 5 players alive for Infamous. And now moves being made to try to spread out wide over here on the Snake side as Brad McCurley bumps out this way, and so does Drew Templeton. And then the bodies are starting to peel off right now for upTon 187 cRew. Dan Zaleski gets shot out, and then
David Ryan tries to come through the middle, gets shot, but Zach Patient is coming down the Dorito side. So Infamous with the first point, they played it aggressive across the field, and they got that first point.
Well, Infamous had a really smart game plan, but a lot of execution over there. Really good job by Zach Patient to push aggressively up that D side of the field, and he was pushing into guns. upTon 187 crew decided to have a rather conservative break, and then also didn't really push out past that, really hoping that they could get those kills on Infamous trying to push up, but you cannot stay in that pocket if the other team gets wide. So nice work there by Los Angeles Infamous to take an early lead. We're looking into pits right there for upTon as they get ready for this next point. Can they get it back? We'll see. Stick around.
Yo, dude, anyone else have a chop or a thing in the
Anyone else?
Fine.
All right. One.
Number 32 on the orange team. Number 32 on the orange team. His hand just blew up.
Yo,
His hand blew up.
So welcome back here, man. You know, upTon, they went 1-3 in the prelims. They're down by 1 right now, but they did defeat San Antonio X Factor. They're a current world
They were
champs.
competitive in all their games.
Yeah.
Just a couple of those games, they got some majors there that cost them at the end of the games, but they've been competitive.
There's Zach Wake and Bobby Aviles for Los Angeles
Oh,
Infamous.
boy, here goes the penalty as we speak.
Well, at least it's a minor for 187. So 187 crew just got a minor penalty. Looks like Greg Lazat got that penalty. Max Trailer got pulled on the penalty. 3 players left alive, again, stuck in that pocket. That's going to allow Infamous to be able to spread out wide here. But Jason Bornstein got shot, so it's 3-on-4. 187 still, I was going to say they still have a chance, but Eddie Painter gets shot out. And then Matthew Jarula gets shot out as well, too. So just Dan Zaleski left alive, and they are going to be forced to concede the point. So Rab, you know, upTon, they just got beat straight up in that first point as Infamous was able to make those moves down on that D side of the field, which had the gun shift over. Zach Patient had a really good kill over there. And then slowly but surely, Infamous worked the rest of crew out. But this particular point, a penalty striking, and you know, this has been a relatively penalty-free tournament. We haven't really seen, you know, too many crazy penalty-filled matches. There's a couple. Vicious had to fight through a bunch of penalties.
Right. And the ones we have seen is guys, the refs are telling them, hey, you're hit. I don't think they're hearing the refs or something, and they keep shooting, and that's when they're getting these penalties. So you're like, right, it's been pretty clean this whole event so far.
Yeah, and the refs, as we're looking at this game matchup here on your screen, so attacking, defending, finishing, and clutch, you got to give the advantage to Infamous. Infamous won the last event, and they have a full field attack now. Picked up some, you know, they got Zach Patient back, adding to their firepower. He was injured last year. They also picked up the Bornstein brothers, and they have great, awesome veterans there as far as that's why that clutch metric is so high. And crew fighting for respect, though, like you said, Rab, they have had close games all tournament long, and they defeated X Factor. Let's check down with Lauren Kelly. She's down on the sidelines.
Hey guys, I'm in the Infamous pit right now with Bobby Aviles. You guys definitely didn't have the weekend that you wanted, especially coming off Dallas. Were you coming into today feeling pretty frustrated about being in this relegation match?
Absolutely. I mean, we had some technical difficulties our first game of the tournament, so it's kind of a rough start. We brought it back the second game. We came back to tie the game out. Next day, we came out to play our Chaos, very strong team, a lot of respect for them, beat them 7-3. Went in playing Dynasty, who is a top-tier team, always has been. You know, they're going to be right up there all year, so we came out strong, but just couldn't close out the game, ending 6-4, which put us in the relegation match. We're up 2-0 right now and looking to close out on a big point deficit.
All right, we'll see if Infamous can keep this lead.
Thank you.
You know, Infamous had to play 4 relegation matches last season. They won all of those. They're undefeated in relegation matches. But what these guys are playing for right here, in case you're unaware of how the PSP format works, there are two professional divisions. Oh, Infamous losing 2 bodies here. There's 2 professional divisions. The bottom 4 from the Champions Division play in these relegation matches, and the losers bump down to the Challengers Division the top two teams from the Challengers Division, they
Move
bump up.
Yep.
So it makes it incredibly exciting. These are always two of my favorite games to watch here because there's so much on the line, Rab.
And it also makes the champions teams, they can't, like we said, we can't have a bad day. And as we say that, 187 goes and run bunkers the invisible man.
Well, here's the problem. Greg Lazat thought that center was hot, so maybe he got some bad information. There's still 4 players left alive for Upton. They do have a one-body advantage as Zach Patient and Damian Ryan got shot out early. Jarula and Lazat on those kills. So Lazat did get a kill before he threw his body away. But you got to be careful when you're playing these really big, important games here. You're fighting for your life in the Champions Division. When you're playing a team like Infamous that won the last event and it's undefeated in these games, you know, you can't make mistakes.
You gotta play discipline.
You gotta try to play as flawless paintball as possible.
And here with 187 now, they got Infamous stuck in the middle of the field. One of these guys needs to wing out a little to the snake side here and start putting pressure on the guys in the middle, because if Infamous starts breaking wide, that's just gonna slow these guys down even more. So let's see if 187 can make a move out to the snake side here or move up that Dorito side.
Well, Dan Zaleski is definitely in position. You can see him low. He's right below Jarula there as we pull back. There's Dan Zaleski. So Dan Zaleski has gotten as low as possible. He actually had his gear stolen last night, so he's in the PSP jersey, which is, that's got to be unfortunate. You
put out your gear to dry off.
You have to play a relegation.
At the hotel game. At the hotel, and then you come back to get your gear and someone ganked it.
Terrible. So, but the thing with Upton is that they do have that body advantage, but can they do anything with it? Right now, they're still in the pocket, so they're not wide, not putting a lot of pressure on Infamous. Infamous is gunned up heavy with their 3 bodies. They have Brad McCurley shooting towards the D side, 2 guns towards that snake side. They know that that's where the next move is going to come because Zaleski and Jarula are doubled up in that spot. So they're waiting for Zaleski or Jarula to bump out wide. You can see those 2 players on your screen right now, Jarula and Zaleski. Zaleski is the one shooting towards the snake side, the closest player. And then there's Jarula. He's shooting towards that D side of the field, towards the pits. Referee getting and checking out. Oh, this would be a huge kill for Upton. Kevin Cali Rudolph with some spray on him, but it looks like he is clean. Oh, no, no, referee's still in there. And the referee looks like he's gonna be clean. Oh, but with the referee checking out Cali, he is able to. Drew Templeton begging for that kill, Rab.
Oh, wow. It is close.
Did he get it?
Dan's checking his gun, making sure he doesn't get a penalty.
This is tense moments, man. Look at these guys locked in their gunfights. Nice job by Zaleski to get out, though.
And that's the move. If he can just continue down get to that snake side or snake corner, he can start getting wide on Infamous. It'll make it difficult for them. Since they're still trapped in the middle, but their guns up and blazing over there. Look at these guys.
Oh man, I thought Zaleski got shot for a second. Zaleski's making me nervous over here. But he's still alive. So still 4 bodies, and Upton 187 crew slowly starting to spread this field. They played very smart so far in this point here, other than the mental error by Lazat to air bunker the center 50 fortress. And now, but do you think Drew should try to get out and mirror Zaleski's move?
No, I think Zaleski needs to get to that snake corner, or as you say that.
So Brad McCurley getting shot out of his spot. Kevin Cali Rudolph spreads the field a little bit here and now. Here comes Upton 187 crew. They double up the center and take out Drew Templeton, trying to get out wide. He did not know that Jarula had made his move up in the center, and that's going to do it. So nice job by Upton 187 crew to pull within 1 here with 13:24 to go. Score will be 2 for Infamous, 1 for Upton. And Tony, Zaleski, and Trailer still left alive on that point. So great work by them. Max Trailer got a kill, Jarula and Lazat. And I think, who took out those last 2 guys? Solid teamwork, though.
Yeah, they survived the break. Had a little crazy play there. I think there's, like you said, miscommunication. Sending a Greg Lazat on that crazy run.
But hey, not a big deal. They ended up, it didn't end up costing them because they were able to work out those angles, slowly, methodically work up the field. Looking at the Infamous pits right now. So 13:03 when that flag was hung, and we got ourselves a 1-point game. You can listen in here for a second before we head to a quick commercial break.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. I want my cast to come through. Okay. Is there no 9 volts in there at all?
There's Damian Ryan, one of the leaders from this team on the field. Such a star performer for them past 2 seasons, and last season he killed it. It's going to be interesting for him this year, though, as Infamous has 2 lines now, and he's not going to get as many spins, so he's not quite stunning as much as he was last season so far. It's a long year, though. On the breakout, Dan Zaleski getting taken out. Big off-the-break kill. I think that was Nicky Cuba, or might have been Zach Wake on that kill for Infamous. 5 bodies alive for Infamous. Stuck in the pocket, though, and it looks like another body drops for upTon 187 Crew. So the Crew down to 3. In that center, big move, Nicky Cuba. Superman dives up into the center. Nice job by Nicky. Kind of working on a little bit of a bum knee. Yeah, the
fact that he's moving like that's pretty impressive.
Well,
man.
Nicky is about as tough of a character as they come. We had him up here helping us commentate. Looks like another body coming off. Painter getting shot again out of his bunker. I asked him how his knee was, and he said, yeah, I don't even know. He's like, I had to go back and look to see which one I tore my MCL on. Quick. I've had so many knee problems, I can't remember which knee it was. I'm like, come on, Nicky. I'm like, well, you gonna, how you doing? He's like, well, they asked me if I was gonna play. I looked at him like, are you crazy? Of course I'm gonna play. Get me back out there.
No way, I'm not playing. You have to saw this leg off.
Yeah, pretty much. So Nicky Cuba stepping up, getting 2 confirmed there in that point. Nice work by the veteran, the clutch performer, Nicky Cuba, to help Infamous go up 3-1. So, and that was a perfect point. Nicky Cuba, 3 confirmed kills. He's the kill count leader for that squad right now. So Rab, it's tough. I mean, you've coached a lot of teams, and when you have 2 lines, talk to us and everyone at home a little bit about how hard that is sometimes to kind of get that flow going. Damian was getting rep after rep. I mean, he only sat 3 points, I think, last year.
As a coach, you bring 10 guys, and you're hoping you could play 2 squads and keep guys fresh, but that doesn't always happen in this race 2 format. So you got to go with your guys that are hot, and it's going to change game to game, match to match, tournament to tournament. So, like you said, Damian's not going to get as many spins possibly when Coach Travis and Greg Posey feel like, hey, that guy never leaves the field, he'll stay out there. But Infamous is deep. They got a lot of good players on that team right now.
The reason that they were able to do so well at that first event, I felt, was because they got that full team effort, and they have added so much firepower. The Bornsteins are playing great for him. Corey Bornstein, man, that kid and his brother, they're both really, really good paintball players. Corey is a fierce gunfighter, and Jason's really aggressive. Add in Zach Patient, who spent the most of last year, as we listened, if you catch the opening of this broadcast during the scouting report, Zach Patient had multiple injuries last year, and he was able to fight through those. He's back, and then they got Zach Wake back, who was the MVP of the finals. So when you have a really heavy hitter lineup like that, it's good to have 2 lines. It keeps everyone fresh, and it worked at the last event, and it is working so far here now. They still got to put another 4 points up on the board to win this one. Whoa, look at this, though. Body coming off, Max trailer, and it looks like a body coming off for Infamous as well.
Rudolph.
Jason Bornstein. So Jason Bornstein.
Okay.
So it's 4-on-4 right now. You're looking at 187 on your screen now. Infamous doubling up, pocket play, 4 guns up. Bobby Aviles and Zach Wake in 1 bunker, and Corey Bornstein and Nicky Cuba in the other. So they sent that same lineup back out again.
And why not? They got that point. And that squad's playing good. Nicky's playing good. He looks like he's into it. So when Nicky's into the match, good things usually happen with him. He just gets everybody into it.
Well, Nicky's the perfect example of one of those guys. We always say, don't get down, get up. And that's Nicky Cuba. When things get bad, that's when he's good. Nicky's a better player when things aren't going well than he is when things are going well.
Yep. He refuses to lose.
Some people thrive in those mental situations. They actually, they may not necessarily admit it, but for some reason, that's where they're at their peak performance. Well, let's see if Nicky can get something done here, because Infamous only has 3 bodies left alive. Nicky's one of them. The MVP from the first event, Zach Wake. He's right there loading and gunning at the same time. Gets his gun up back on that snake side.
187 made to the left side of the A, the fortress side. So.
Well, that's going to keep Nicky from pushing up on this D side of the field. And now Nicky, I don't even know if Nicky knows that he made it to that bunker. Yeah, he did. He does now.
Knows now. He's trying to creep out.
Oh, did he get shot on?
Oh,
no. Oh, Nick. Oh, wow, that was close.
He almost got him,
yeah,
too.
Well, he almost got him, but he almost got shot, too. But that's pretty much every gunfight.
Yeah. So now 187, what they need to do with Infamous pinch in the middle of the field, they need to keep going wide. Zaleski needs to find a way to get to the snake side to make it real difficult for Zach Wake. Because if Zach gets moving to the snake side here, that'll slow down 187 big time. It looks like, uh-oh, is he hit?
Oh, no, bad death.
Oh, two of them.
Oh, my God.
Just like that.
So, upTon 187 crew, you playing Infamous, you can't throw your bodies away like that. 2 bodies dying at the same time. Oh, but Nicky Cuba rolls up and he gets smoked. So now it's 2-on-2. Oh, 1-on. Oh, wow. So what a crazy turn of events here.
It looked like Infamous was about to turn that, and 187's like, nope, not going to have it just yet.
Wow. So upTon 187 crew lost 2 players very quick, and then all of a sudden it looked like Infamous, they had the advantage, but stuck in that pocket. Matthew Derula stepping up and getting a 5-pack. Matt Derula, I called that. I didn't call a 5-pack particularly on this point, but and I can't say it's necessarily just me, but I have to have some friends on the East Coast, and they've been talking about Matt Derula and how they think that's a really big pickup for 187, about how, he's uncultivated, but he's getting there, and we keep seeing it. Every time I see that kid play, that's what's scary about upTon 187 crew is, when they came in the league, they had Zaleski, they had Laval, who ended up when he went to Impact in the offseason this year, so they don't have many more, but they had Zaleski, Trailer, Painter. But now guys like Lazat, guys like Derula, they got Mantoni, they got some studs out there.
Yeah, they're starting to get players. They're getting confidence in the way they play.
And there's Zach Wake and Bobby Aviles just can't do anything as they were just stuck in that pocket, man. They're doubled up in that spot. When you got a guy wrapping around Derula in that center, winning that gunfight, and man, Derula, 7 confirmed kills for the young Matt Derula.
Yeah, he's playing not to get relegated. He's like, guys, hey,
this is how you become paintball famous. You're playing against Infamous in relegation. Your team's down by 2, and you go out and shoot 5 guys, and win the point for your team to pull within 1. And so that's just solid work right now. This game brought to you by Planet Eclipse. Big sponsors upTon 187 crew, and their push forward and really huge. Look at how many pods are on Derula's back. So, dude, guys
35.
are carrying.
Guys are walking around with 2 cases of paint on their back.
Yeah, and this year, Planet Eclipse, the new season of the roster, is going to be featuring Chicago Aftershock. Aftershock, what an amazing story there. They are in the semifinals, taking on Edmonton Impact. Shock 1 game away from going back to the finals for the first time in about 4 or 5 years. When was that? Actually, I have that info for you here.
Looks like.
It
12,
was.
10.
Yeah, so Aftershock hasn't made a finals since 2010. So now on the breakout, upTon 187 crew still down a point. They stay in the pocket, and it looks like...
No, they actually made a guy up to Dorito corner on the break. We don't see that too often.
It's tough, man. It is very tough to spread out on this field, particularly on the side of the field that upTon 187 crew is on, because the other side of the field still has really nice grass, but upTon 187 crew is playing on a side that's just got torched by all that rain that hit here a couple days before the event. Inches came down here in Maryland. At least we weren't in Pensacola, Florida. You see how bad the South got destroyed? 9 inches of rain in 24 hours.
It didn't look good here on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, man. The rain, we were just like, oh boy.
Yeah.
It cleared out. Beautiful day today.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous morning right now. A little crisp air too, but so Infamous, 5 bodies alive for them, 5 for upTon 187 crew. 8 minutes and 50 seconds remain here in this relegation match. Whoever loses this game will be moving down to the Challengers Division. Oh, so after his 5-pack, Matt Derula, he's the first body to drop for upTon 187 crew. Now 4 bodies alive for them. Zaleski low in that bunker. That's an interesting angle. I haven't really seen too many guys shoot that specific, get that low to shoot that angle.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much the only one I've seen.
Did he just get shot? No, it came off the ground.
Yeah. He's tucked in there as tight as you can get.
Not really putting much pressure downfield, though. I think, the thing with those spots is that's why you carry all that paint. You just dump those first pods that you got, but you want to put paint through the lane because, you're not going to be able to react fast enough if you're not already shooting your gun in that lane and a player tries to run through it and he can get low enough. So Infamous trying to use this 1-body advantage. They haven't really spread the field out too much. Actually, 187 crew has a player out farther and now upTon makes, it looks like Max Trailer is able to get out wide. And as we pull back on this shot, they're heading back to upTon 187 crew's line. There's the 4 players left alive for them. They have a body on that D side, 2 bodies on the D side of the field, 2 in the center, no one on the snake side. And let's see if Drew Templeton for Infamous can actually get out. That's the guy that needs to try to get something happen because Infamous is spread out. They've mirrored up upTon 187 crew's moves on the D side of the field. So it's going to be up to Drew Templeton to try to either push forward in the center or try to get out wide on the snake side.
As you say that, Kevin Rudolph makes it to Dorito 2, so he's starting to move down that Dorito side for Infamous. And that is the good move to make for him right now, because now it keeps Dan Zaleski where he can't go to Snake side right now. He has to really think about making that move.
Yeah, the further you get up the field and the wider you are out, the tougher it gets on your opponents. Paintball is a game of angles, and look at this. Looks like Greg Lazat dropping out of that back corner bunker on the Snake side. I'm sorry, D side of the field. And now Drew Templeton gets shot out. So just when we thought that Infamous had evened up the bodies, no, Drew Templeton loses a gunfight. And now it's 3-on-3. And now the field being spread by Dan Zaleski. He's the first to go. 4-on-3, actually. Is it 4-on-3? Yes, it is, because Callie Rudolph is still alive. So here comes Callie Rudolph. Callie Rudolph trying to have a point here. And he goes past the 50-yard line. Callie Rudolph launching onto 187 Crew's side of the field. So he is going to start sucking up guns over there. And now this is going to open it up for Brad McCurley. Brad McCurley still getting shot at, though, cross field. Brad McCurley on this Snake side.
Great move by Kevin Rudolph. Now he needs his guys to come down the Snake side, because he's in no man's land out there. I don't know how long he's going to be able to live out there.
Yeah, Brad McCurley is in, Callie Rudolph is in a perilous situation right now, because he is very far up and he's in a tiny bunker. And now Damian Ryan moves up in the center a little bit to try to help out Callie Rudolph. Big move. Dan Zaleski, can he make it into the Snake? And Dan Zaleski does, but it looks like Max Trailer gets shot out. So though Dan Zaleski was able to make it in clean, and no, Dan Zaleski gets shot out. So it looks like this point is going to go to Los Angeles Infamous here. Woo, that was a close one, Steve.
Kevin Rudolph played that amazing. That's what you got to do, man. You got to keep the pressure down, and it didn't allow 187 breathe.
Hey, that was a masterful point by Callie Rudolph. He played smart, controlled aggression over there on the D side, and that's been the name of the game out here. If you can't play methodical, you're doomed. If you cannot play methodical, you are doomed on this layout. And that was Art Chaos's problem. Art Chaos, who is going to be playing Omaha Vicious for the right to stay in the Champions Division. That's coming up next. That was their Achilles heel in the prelims. They went 0-4. People had really, with that highly touted roster they have, thought that they could have potentially came in and won this tournament, but instead, they're playing even just to stay in with the top 10 teams.
Yeah, if you looked online a lot, you saw people trash talking go on. These guys they just dominated the challengers bracket, and they're gonna come up in the champions. Like, champions is pretty stacked. Even like you said, they got the experience, but they just had a bad day on Friday, and it just got worse on Saturday. So, but they could fix it here this morning and save their spot.
Hey, if Art Chaos can come out and beat the team that took second at the last event in Omaha Vicious, they will stay in, or will it be the team that took second at the last event going down? That's what's so crazy here about the PSP Champions Division. So we'll be right back with some more of this Los Angeles Infamous upTon 187 Crew matchup. Stick around.
They say don't be perfect, be clutch. Being clutch is one of my biggest assets. You can rely on me to be clutch, and I rely on the Vanquish. My name is Damian Ryan. I play for Team Infamous, and the Vanquish takes my game to another level.
So we are back here and into this game here. upTon 187 Crew needs to start mounting a comeback. They have 5 minutes and 30 seconds to do it. They have 5 players alive on the field, so a good break for them. They were able to get Zaleski out, and then here comes Mantoni making his move up in the center. So Thomas Mantoni is going to try to shut down.
Great move.
Thomas Mantoni gets up and just owns Zach Patient in a gunfight right there. Beautiful work by Thomas Mantoni. This could be his point. Now he basically owns that D side of the field from that position.
He just needs to stay in there, stay patient, don't force it.
And you see the players from Infamous stuck in those spots, and it looks like Callie Rudolph is going to get shot. So Callie Rudolph taking the early walk. 3 players left alive for Infamous. This is upTon 187 Crew. Oh, but Thomas Mantoni. Did he get shot by Damian Ryan or Brad McCurley?
I think it might have been Brad McCurley.
It was Brad McCurley.
I think he just creeped out a little bit too far. Like we were saying, so stay patient, stay alive in there, because you're doing work for these guys.
Max Taylor dropped a shot on Kevin Callie Rudolph. Zach Patient got shot by Mantoni, but that was a great job by Mantoni. But when you're in this particular situation, you can't just be good, you got to be great. So Thomas Mantoni did really good there, but then he ended up getting shot, and now upTon 187 crew down by 2 with 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go, still looking at 3 guns. They do have a 1 body advantage. So can Painter, Jarula, Trailer, and Zaleski step up here? Eddie Painter, no confirmed kills so far in this matchup. He's one of their best guys. Jarula has been dominant, 7 for him, 5 for Max Trailer. Dan Zaleski, 1 confirmed. Dan's been doing a lot of holding lanes and then trying to get out, but a lot of ones on the Snake side haven't had high kill counts. But like guys like Billy Bernaccia, he played great for X Factor in a couple points in a couple games by playing really smart, even though he wasn't shooting anybody, but he was still getting up on this Snake side of the field. Have we even seen anyone in the Snake yet in this game?
We haven't seen anyone yet. Like they just abandoned ship on the Snake side. Like, like come on, guys. Oh, here these guys are moving now as we say that.
Big move out by Drew Templeton, spreading the field. That is going to help slow down the attack from upTon 187 crew. They have to push forward. They have no choice. The 1 body advantage for them. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. There's, Zaleski.
Take out both of them.
So Zaleski and Jarula step up to take out Brad McCurley and Drew Templeton, who die at the same time. Big mistakes from Drew Templeton and Brad McCurley, and then it's just Damian Ryan. So some gunfighting airs out there as Drew Templeton, Brad McCurley, and Damian Ryan all get shot within seconds of each other. So that allows upTon 187 crew, they didn't even lose another one. They still have 4 bodies alive. And Eddie Painter was the one that got that shot on Drew Templeton, so he finally clocks in. Jarula got himself another one. Zaleski got a kill. So everyone that played that point for upTon 187 crew shot somebody.
That's what you need. Now you're down 1 point, 3 minutes left to decide who stays in champions and who's going down to challengers. And hey, this is what we expected.
God, man, this is nerve-wracking, man.
These guys are over there sweating bullets going, guys, this is,
yeah,
we can't have this.
Hey, hopefully if whoever out there picked Matt Jarula for fantasy team, man, he's scoring you some points right now. And what's at stake is the Empire Vanquish, so huge prize. We're going to be right back after this.
Are you ready for an explosion of paintball videos? Then stay tuned to paintballaccess.com because the CXBL is back for their 10th anniversary season. Catch all the best pro talent north of the border as teams battle it out in full X-Ball matches. Paintballaccess.com, on the field, in the pits, behind the scenes.
So welcome back here, 2014 PSP Mid-Atlantic Open, and we are coming to the conclusion here of this first relegation game, and it is a close one. Infamous is only up 1 point away, or up 1 point over upTon 187 crew. So Rab, man, this is what, like we went to the quick break, that's exactly what we thought we were going to see out here.
On this field layout,
Well,
both teams they played good this week. They just had a bad day on Friday, and it just cost them.
Yeah, and, you know, upTon went 1-3, but they had a lot of close games, and they beat X Factor. So, you know, upTon's proving that they deserve to be in the Champions Division. Again, you constantly have to prove that. That's why we have these relegation games. They know that they can beat big teams. Can they beat them when it counts? That's the most important thing.
We're down 1 point. We're going to see here with 3 minutes left in this match. So
yeah, and what do you think about this next matchup, man? Vicious and Art Chaos.
The guys that can possibly go down is just shocking. And like Seriously?
Yeah, I mean, Archaeos just stormed through the Challengers division, mashing on everybody, and then they head in here, and then they get destroyed 4 games in a row, just because they haven't been able to diversify their strategy. That was just such a big problem.
This layout, I don't think, favored them.
Still, though, no excuse, man.
No
I mean,
excuse.
you got guys like Alexander Burnikov, Sergei Sonaiskov, Konstantin Fedorov,
Tons
Kiesnev.
of experience.
Just throw whoever out there. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man. Those guys have the amount of championships that those 4 players have won could be matched against any other players in the game. So we'll see if they can take down Vicious and stay in the Champions Division. On the breakout, looks like Infamous loses a body, but look at this. Zaleski is able to get out wide over here on the Snake side of the field.
And no one has done that yet this match. And so Infamous tries to go wide on the Dorito corner. They lose their player, and 187 makes Snake corner. So let's see what happens here. 2:35 left in this match. 187's down by 1. And Infamous is just trapped in the center here. But this is good for them. This is a good spot for them to be in with all those guns up right now.
Yeah, for sure. They have 4 guns. They have the lead. And with only 2 minutes, oh, God, Zach Wake, the MVP from the finals, now getting shot out here in this relegation game. And here comes a 187. Are they going to tie it up? They have 2 minutes to do it. They have a massive advantage here. They're 5 players up and 5 alive. 3 players alive for Infamous. Cuba, Bornstein, and Avilas are going to have to try to hold it down and roll their guns. Oh, Eddie Painter getting shot out of that center. But here comes a major penalty. Worst case scenario for Los Angeles Infamous, as this game is going to be tied now with just 1 minute and 40 to play.
And a major on Nikki Cuba.
And Nikki Cuba getting a major penalty, which pulls Bobby Avilas out. Avilas in that box now for the next minute and 55 seconds. So for the rest of relegation or regulation time, the rest of the time in this match, Infamous is going to have to play down a body, and that was a huge penalty for Infamous and a giant opportunity for upTon 187 crew. Let's check in with Lauren Kelly down on the sidelines.
Hey guys, I'm here with Greg Lazat in the 187 pit. Now, you guys you're coming back. You have a chance here. They're going to be down 1 body. What are you finding is the most effective play for you to run so you can really take this win?
Well, they're break shooting really well, so trying to get outside is difficult off the break, but once we get outside, that's working. And also the X play seems to be working too. So just kind of switching up and staying ahead of them with our game plans.
This is a difficult field, obviously, with a lot of blind spots. Do you guys have the most visibility in the X when you get there?
You can shut down one side or the other, but it's hard because you have to pick one side or the other. You can't shut down, like some X's you can really wrap around. You can't do that as much on this field.
All right, well, we'll see who gets this next point.
So, wow, dramatic turn of events here for Infamous and for upTon 187 crew. Infamous has been leading this entire game. Hey, better late than never. upTon 187 crew utilizing, well, they really were looking good to start with. They had 5 bodies against Infamous's 3, but then Nikki Cuba gets that major penalty. Cuba had played well up until that point, so, man, that's going to be a huge boost to upTon 187 crew, and it looks like Los Angeles Infamous has smartly called a timeout. So with 1 minute and 39 seconds, the question that remains here is, can upTon 187 crew utilize the power play to close this game out, win this relegation game, stay in the Champions Division, and send the team that won the event the last event in Dallas, potentially could get relegated here, as they only have 4 players. They have to play the rest of this game down a body.
Just because they're starting with 4, 187 has to stay disciplined and composed during this. They can't get sloppy and go, hey, these guys are in, yeah, they're in the penalty box, but you got to play smart.
Well, here's the thing. Infamous has been in this situation many times. Lots of veterans. They have nothing but pretty much, except for Zach Patient is still a little young in his career, but everyone else is a massive veteran on that team, and they've been here before. So on the flip side, upTon 187 crew for the past couple years been starting to earn their stripes. So it's just, and then also, if 1 minute and 39 seconds, if Infamous can hold the attack, or maybe shoot a body off the break and go to a long point, well, then we're going to go to shootout. Or we're going to go to overtime period, 3 minutes, and then if that's still a tie, we go to shootouts, because that's how it goes down on Sunday. Let's check in with Lauren Kelly. She has Nikki Cuba down on the sidelines.
Hey guys, I'm standing here with Nikki Cuba. Nikki, you guys are tied 4-4 now. You had a lead there for a while. What is going to be your best strategy to make sure that they don't get the advantage when you're a body down?
Shoot bodies on the break, play smart, play tight, and you know, control the tempo from the start of this game, and don't let them breathe out of their bunkers.
All right, we'll see if Infamous can keep the lead and get a point on the board.
Again, this game brought to you by Planet Eclipse. Here we go. 1 minute and 39 seconds remains here in this match. God, this is so tense here. Big, this is a ballsy move right here for Infamous, and it looks like he makes it. So Brad McCurley running across lanes gets out wide, and that is going to help slow things down on that D side of the field. That is not an offensive position. That's a defensive spot right there. So right now, 4 bodies up. That's a best case scenario for Vicious. I'm sorry, for Infamous. So look for upTon 187 crew with their 5 bodies that they have alive to try to make something happen here in the next minute. I don't know, Rab. I think that we're probably going to go to an overtime period. Oh, upTon 187 crew loses a body.
Eddie Painter's walking off, so it's 4-on-4 with 55 seconds left in the match, and that move on Brad McCurley is amazing because it just slowed down those guys from moving that middle of the field. And they're just locked.
What a gutsy play call from the coaching staff of Los Angeles Infamous. Dan Wake, Greg Posey, and of course the masterful Travis Szymanski. He's the whole reason Infamous even exists still. And that's a tough call right there, but Brad McCurley did the run. He did it nice. He made it in and didn't get shot, and that is slowing things down. So we're probably going to go to an overtime point because not enough bodies died for either team off the break, and you know, McCurley was able to get into that spot. McCurley is now wrapping around trying to go to work a little bit here. Oh, so McCurley wraps around. He's locked into a gunfight. Only 13 seconds left. Here comes, attacking is Max Trailer and the rest of the crew here. They're up in the center, wrapping around. That's going to put pressure here, but just not going to have enough time. McCurley is going to launch, though, but there's only a second left. So we are going to have a tie game, and Infamous was able to suck most of that penalty off. There's still 15 seconds that will carry on into the overtime period.
Hey, Infamous, take it to overtime, survive that penalty. Amazing.
Well, that's what I was talking about, the vets on that team. Even Brad McCurley. You know, Brad McCurley's now starting to become a veteran. He's been playing high-level paintball for a decent amount of years now. And as we're getting a look in the pits here as they stumble back out or stumble back in to get loaded up for this overtime point. So how the overtime point works is it's 3 minutes in the overtime period. And if no one scores a point, then we go to one-on-one shootouts. And it looks like Brad McCurley on that run gets himself a 3-pack, 3 confirmed kills for him.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a clutch move. You know, MVP, or he was the MVP, so last tournament, Zach Wake was MVP of the finals, and as Infamous won. But the last tournament they won before that was all the way back in Chicago 2012. Brad McCurley was the MVP in that finals, and that was when he proved, hey, look, man, I'm a clutch guy. I know I'm young, but I can play some clutch paintball. Let's check out this replay here. So you're looking at this breakout. Here's Brad McCurley run off the break, guns up, and then look for him to make that move in the center. So he's guns up, and then he breaks from there, runs that inside lane, and then dives out, stretching to get in, sucks back in, and was able to make it through that lane. That's a gutsy move right there off the break. And when you're down a body, the other team's on a power play. That's not an easy spot to make.
That completely shut down 187 from moving.
And he got 3 kills.
Like, whoa, he made that bunker. We didn't expect that.
Yeah.
And they got 3 kills.
Yeah, and so, yeah, they didn't score the point, and it's still tied, but most importantly, they were able to take that penalty clock all the way down to 15 seconds on that Cuba penalty. So 3 minutes that we're going to throw on the board here. And, well, we got what we asked for, Rab. We asked for an exciting game to start the morning out, and that's what we got.
Like, potentially determine who's going down to the Challengers Division.
Yeah, or are we going to see shootouts? The shootouts work like this. The shootouts, it consists of a series of 5 60-second one-on-ones, and it's the first to 2 points wins. So are we going to see a shootout here? Brad McCurley does the same move again. Can he go to the well twice in a row? He does, and Brad McCurley steps up, but it looks like
Oh, they lose one.
It
Penalty.
looks like they're going to lose, and that might be a penalty. And Bobby Vils finally makes it out.
He comes out of the penalty box, and we lost Corey Bornstein.
So the tough thing, though, so Brad McCurley is in a good position again, defensive position, trying to shut down the guys on your screen right now. And here comes the rest of the crew, and they are able to make it up on the D side. They have D1 and D2, so they're in good field position on that side of the field. And heavy guns up in the center for upTon 187 crew. They do have a body advantage as Corey Bornstein got shot. Max Trailer stepped up, got that shot on Corey Bornstein. 4 on 5, 2 minutes and 11 seconds to go. What's the next body going to be to drop here? Or can these teams fight through this 2 minutes overtime period and go to one-on-one shootouts? I hope we see some shootouts, personally.
Yeah, shootouts would be nice. I mean, Brad McCurley's position that he's been doing these 2 points is just like really slowing down 187. 187 has to find a way to get to the snake side here. It's going to be a little difficult with Damian Ryan just posted up, but they got to find a way to spread this field if they're going to try to get down the field. Well, while Brad McCurley's there just locking them down.
Well, another thing, too, is that it's tough to take risks in these high-pressure situations like this. And so that's why we've seen a lot of these games go to time and a lot of these games go to overtime periods. And we saw a lot of ties. So there's a really good chance that we could see it. I mean, maybe even more than one shootout, which would be really good for all the fans out there. So, you know, if you're out there, man, let everyone know across your social networks that the best teams in the world are fighting to prove who deserves to win this tournament. And we may see some of the most dramatic paintball. Uh-oh, did Drew Templeton get shot? Drew Templeton might have got shot. No, he's clean. Under a minute to go, or just about a minute to go here, as upTon 187 crew makes a move up into the center. Still 5 alive. No one shot so far for upTon. And here comes the attack. The attack will come because they have the body advantage. They're only looking at 4. Oh, and Drew Templeton finally gets shot at that spot. That is going to open things up.
50 seconds left.
This is really going to be tough. Oh, and the bodies are starting to peel off for Infamous. Things are looking really good for upTon. Is upTon going to be able to close this out with enough time? I think they might be able to do it, Rab.
They got to get wide on the snake if they're going to do it. It's 35 seconds left. And here they come.
And here comes the push. They're getting chewed up, though. Damian Ryan falling out. And major
Damian gets a
penalty.
major. Wow. He was wheeling and dealing back there.
And Max Trailer pumps his fist
wow,
to
look
the
at
sky.
This.
Oh
Unbelievable.
my God, that was crazy. What an insane game, man. I can't believe it. I was hoping for some one-on-ones, but congratulations to upTon 187 crew. They take down the team that won.
Dallas.
And not only that, but Infamous, they were undefeated in relegation games, 4-0 last year. But now, for the very first time ever, Los Angeles Infamous is going to have to bump down to the Challengers Division, which is just a disaster for that program.
They're in shock. We're in shock.
I'm in shock, yeah.
Hey, 187, like you said, they proved that they deserve to stay in the Champions Division. And
they earned it. And look at there's Zach Wake right there. And, you know, Zach Wake, such an amazing paintball story as he battled through injuries and so many had so many bad things happen to him last season. Got cut from San Antonio X Factor last year. And so, you know, so frustrating right now as you're looking at an emotional parental advisory here on this audio because, you know, these guys just had the worst thing possible that could have happened to them at this event, which is to get relegated down to the Challengers Division after winning the first event. So, oh man, I would not want to hang out with Infamous later on today. Wow. And they're going to be miserable. But, you know, I was just going to say, you know, Zach Wake, because we were on Zach Wake right there and we were looking at that shot and he was disappointed. But, you know, Zach Wake has fought through so much adversity. A lot of these guys on that team had fought through adversity. So they'll be back. Infamous will definitely be back, but they're going to have to fight through the Challengers Division. And I'll tell you what, Infamous had been, I guess they had created a meme. Infamous had created a meme saying something about Heat, who got relegated. Oh, yeah. So now Heat is trying to get back into the Champions Division.
Heat's going to wear them out.
Yeah, so Heat was like, hey, man, if Infamous,
you know what goes around comes around.
Yeah, Infamous is like, or Heat was like, look, Infamous is playing in a relegation game. If they get dropped down, we are going to hammer them.
And they should.
Yeah,
they hammered them.
Yep. Wow. Who would have thought? I mean, this is why I love watching these events. This is why I hope you guys at home are being entertained, because you never know what's going to happen at the PSP event. The team that won the last event is now getting bumped down to the Challengers Division, which speaks to the strength of the top portion of this league. And then not only that, but like what other crazy things? 187 staying in, they beat this team, and then now next up, we have Vicious. They're going to take on a team who hasn't won an event here or won a game in this event in Art Chaos. Well, let's check in with Lord Kelly down on the sidelines.
Thanks, Maddie. I'm standing here with Matt Derulo of 187. Congratulations. Infamous won Dallas first place, and you guys just knocked them down to the relegation match. How does that, or relegation bracket, how does, challenger bracket, I'm sorry, how does that feel?
Oh, I mean, it feels good. You know, ever since 187's bumped pro, we've pretty much gone up and down. You know, we went down in Dallas, back up, down in Chicago, back up. This is the first time we've actually stayed up, and to do it against a team like Infamous, you know, it feels good.
We have seen so many overtimes this weekend, and you were only the second team to be able to win in overtime. Why is it so difficult on this field layout?
You know, there's a lot of short bunkers in the back. It's really easy to hide 5 guys. We lucked out. I think Drew got a major maybe beforehand, so 15 seconds carried into the overtime point. Luckily, we hit someone before he came out of the box, so we were up 5-4. We were able to get wide and close it out.
While you were out there, did you think that it was going to go to that one-on-one shootout?
Yeah, I mean, it came down to a minute. I looked inside. Thomas was in the X. He was taking it kind of slow. Yesterday, we had a mistake where we tried to overextend ourselves, so I thought we were kind of going to slow it up today. We lucked out, got a couple extra kills in the last, 15 seconds to win it.
You seemed like you were producing really well when you could get down to that X. Why is that X play so effective on this field?
I mean, contrary to the major or the overtime points, if a lot of guys go close to stay alive and you get in the X, it's the best spot to cut them down when they try and kick out wide.
Well, congratulations. You guys are staying in the champions bracket. You fought hard. Next up is going to be Vicious versus arcchaos. arcchaos has surprised a lot of people. They haven't been playing that well. Who do you think is going to win that one?
I mean, I think Vicious is going to win. They played us good yesterday. We played arcchaos in Dallas. I think there's a lot of overhype going on there.
All right, we'll see if he's right. Stay tuned. We got Vicious versus arcchaos coming up.
So Infamous just losing too many gunfights, too many clutch performers, did not step up today, and they are going to get knocked down to the Challengers Division and have to fight to get out of that bracket in Chicago, and that is a tournament that they won before. So, they'll be back.
And they'll be back, and you know what? They'll go down just like he did. They'll go get everything in order. They'll be back. They're a great team. They got great players.
And speaking of Houston Heat, we're going to see them play Trenton Top Gun Union after this game coming at you. Vicious and arcchaos. We'll be right back.